Hey, how's it going? It's Mike here. I wanted to talk about the Catholic Church. I've had my own personal experiences in the Catholic Church. When I was a kid, now I didn't know nothing about the Bible, never really read the Bible before, like 6 months ago. I think I got saved 6 months ago. And I don't think I got saved. I got saved 6 months ago. but, uh, I went to a Catholic church, I think in fourth grade. I was there for about a half a year. And I always felt out of place, always felt not right, always had an eerie feeling about it. I mean, we'd pray. I mean, literally, we'd come to school, we'd pray. We'd go to first period. After first period, we'd pray. After second period, we'd pray. After third period, we'd pray. And it was just, I mean, we prayed like 9 times throughout the day. And then we'd go to church on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So a lot of praying going on. And of course, it's holding the rosary and Hail Marys, numbering the Hail Marys, holding one bead and saying a Hail Mary after you're done, going to the next bead, saying a Hail Mary. And of course, we were out in the hallway, standing in front of a Mary statue, praying this. So I probably got a bunch of demons from this. My wife, she was really in the Catholic Church a lot more than me, so she could probably speak on it a little better, but not the Catholic Church, a Catholic school. I'm sorry, but yeah. So I just always felt weird about that. You know what I mean? Like, and even like the Lord back then, he never made me pay attention back then neither. You know what I mean? He like all the like I would just always daydream. I don't remember about what, but I would never really pay because we had like a class on Bible study, I think it was, and but I never really paid attention in that school. And I only went there for I think a half a year or a year or something like that. But I mean, and it was just, I mean, I remember we had to do fundraisers just to stay in school. We had to go out and sell chocolates just to raise money for the school. And I mean, come on, I mean, that's ridiculous, I think, in my opinion. But anyway, so we're uh, saying Hail Marys to Mary, praying in front of Mary, having Bible study. Probably they're teaching us the false doctrines and doctrines of demons and all that. But anyway, later on down my life, my dad, he worked for a Catholic church. He ended up getting a job for a Catholic church, worked for 2 Catholic churches as a maintenance man. So I got old enough, I think 15 or something like that. He was doing all like the major work, like remodeling bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, replacing gutters and stuff. So they hired me on because he had his hands full, and for me to like shovel snow in the winter and cut grass and to clean the church and to, mop the bathrooms and all that good stuff. So I did that for about 3 years, I think, and I was in that church alone a lot. I mean, both churches I've cleaned and all that. But while in that church, I mean, I've lived in haunted houses before. I mean, I thought they were haunted. It was just demon infested. There ain't no such thing as ghosts. But I've lived in houses that had spirits in it before, and I know the feeling of when someone's there and an evil feeling around you, and you know what I mean. So when I was in these churches alone, that's all I felt. I never felt God once ever. You know what I mean? I never felt God once ever in all the time that I worked there. And it's funny because I've always had like a fear of like loud noises, and like my ears would be blocked so I can't hear like anyone coming up behind me, and I'd be running the vacuum, and just it kind of terrified me, but I had to do my job, and I ended up getting through it. But I could just feel someone back there watching me, and there was no one in there. I had the keys to the whole place. I knew who was coming in. The alarm was on as soon as someone came in. The beeper went off, so I knew it's not like the nun was spying on me, or the priest was spying on me, you know what I mean? But just always an evil feeling, always a negative feeling, always a feeling of someone's watching you, or someone's there with you, a heavy dark presence in the air, you know what I mean? And so I just thought that was strange, I mean, I'm in a church, the house of God. Why am I so scared? And it's funny because I'd be in the church and I'd be terrified. I'd actually rush through all my work just to, get done. And then my dad would end up coming and yelling at me because I didn't do a good job, because I was freaking terrified of the church. But I'd rush through the work on the inside to get outside. I felt fine outside, So, I mean, and then, you go back with all the idols in there, and I mean, Christmas time, they're setting up Christmas trees. I mean, hundreds of Christmas trees, and, and it all goes back to Nimrod and all that, but you guys already know all that, and no point in getting into all that, but, and like I knew the priest. I talked to him. I knew a couple priests, actually. I talked to him, and it's funny because I used to be a cigarette smoker, and a pot smoker and all that, but a cigarette smoker. And I'd be out smoking a cigarette, and all the priests would come out and smoke cigarettes. We'd chit chat while we're smoking a cigarette together, you know what I mean? And a majority of the priests were all feminine, you know what I mean? Not woman-like, and just not right, you know what I mean? And I remember the one priest, he wanted to quit smoking cigarettes, so he went to a hypnotist, and got hypnotized, so he wouldn't smoke cigarettes. Can you say demons or what? You know what I mean? It's demons working against demons to bring in more demons, to give people more demons, So I just thought that was funny, and all the priests, they were like high class, they had to have the finest of everything. They had to have the finest steaks, and the finest cheese, and the finest wine, and the finest, brand new car every 2 years, or every year. As soon as the new model came out, they had to have the new car, and the nice clothes, and I mean, priests, they differ, you know what I mean? Like the one priest, he was a little nicer, and more laid back. But the priest before I quit, I mean, he was really high class, and real. I mean, I remember seeing pictures with him, shaking hands with President Barack Obama and President Bush, and I remember my dad telling me all kinds of stories about him, and he was just really high class. And like when like, because my dad always had a lot to do, and it was two big churches, and when my dad would forget to do something, or just didn't get around to do it yet, the priest would come and whine and stomp his feet on the ground and throw up his hands, and like have a hissy fit, you know what I mean? Just a baby, a little feminine girl, and I mean, even, like I said, the priest had to have the finest of everything. Well, he also had the finest scotch, the finest, liquor. He had a kegerator in the rectory there, right in the kitchen. You know what I mean? It's just it's sad, man, because like I look back at it now and I didn't really notice. I thought that was church. I thought that I never really even thought about God, but I thought that was the representation of God, and that's what a lot of people think, and they're deceived by Satan. So trying to think of anything else that really happened. I don't know. Well, I hope this helps out someone, and be blessed in Jesus' name. Have a good one.